Hey, cruisers. Can we say that again? We're all cruising again soon, right? Yes, we are. Thank you for your patience. I know we're a few moments late. Windows did an update and changed our audio settings, and we didn't know it. And so Mr. Cruise Tips TV was troubleshooting everything. Every microphone, my microphone, the mute button on my microphone, his speakers, everything on the camera, all the attachments, and he was just going through it one by one, trying to figure it all out. So we're here. We figured it out. He did great. Seth said, what are we drinking? I need booze. Seth, go straight for the strong stuff. I've got a bubbly with some gin and a couple of berries floating in it, and that is it. I'm going for the hard stuff tonight. So, yeah, the post-cruise depression is very real. Combine that with, like, everything else. It's just, sometimes it's just a lot. You know what I'm saying? But it's great to see all of you guys. Oh, my goodness. Thank you all for being here. I'm looking at the chat right now and just soaking up all of the names and faces in the house. We had a couple of very generous super chats in the pre-chat, and I just want to thank everyone who offered up a super chat. That was extremely generous of you before we even got started. So to those of you who did that, thank you so, so much. Heather, thank you. Bonnie Otway, thank you so much for the super chat. You're a sweetie. Shane Whedon said, wahoo, for hitting 90K subscribers. So funny story, we were on our cruise, and of course Mike and Cheryl, always on it and watching our subscriber count, sent me a DM and said, hey, congrats on 90K. I didn't even know that we had hit that milestone, but our dear friends were looking out for us. After that, I got a few more messages too, and I was like, man, are we lucky to have such an incredible community? I didn't even know this had happened. So, thank you, you guys. Thank you so much. It feels so good. Thank you so very, very much, Jim. Joe Mock, I miss you, and Nora. Joe, you're the best hugger in the world. So good to see you, and thank you for the super chat tonight. What an honor it was to meet you in person. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Pascal wants everybody to go with her on Odyssey of the Seas. I love it. Nurse Betty said, question, did you try the Black Manhattan? Nurse Betty, I sure did, and it was wonderful. I didn't vlog my drinks on this cruise, but thank you for that suggestion. It was phenomenal. Thank you. I did. I tried it. Phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you all so much. Margie, thank you, thank you, thank you. What we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to prioritize tonight questions about Adventure of the Seas if we can. I do see some new cruise friends in the house that I met on board. It is Brian and Susan from North Carolina. We loved meeting you guys too. What a treat that was. So wonderful to meet you. I am very thankful that you came into the chat tonight so that we can stay connected like this, because I don't like it when I meet someone on a cruise and then I'm like, I don't know your username on YouTube afterwards, and it's confusing. So thank you guys so much. And it was just truly wonderful to meet you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Will. All the love, you guys, for the 90K. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Let's see here. David Wittenbaum said, do you think you'll be on Harmony on January 9th? You never know. It could happen. Right now, guys, I will be honest, we don't have any other cruises planned. I'm not keeping any secrets from you yet. I promise I'm not yet. We'll be keeping secrets from you soon, but we don't have anything else planned because things are a little tricky now for us. This cruise worked out really great because Junior is of the age where, you know, he could go on that cruise without being vaccinated, but now the vaccine thing is just all over the map and it's a little bit confusing. So, Brenda, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh my gosh, you did not have to do that. I appreciate it. In fact, I owe you money for the vanilla that you bought me in Cozumel. You should not be doing that, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. I would buy you a drink if I could. Oh man. Thank you so much. Oh, Dave, is our camera angle different? Mr. Cruise Tips TV, is our camera angle different? Dave said it was.
Yeah, I just had to make a few changes, so I went to the backup.
Oh, you had to go to the backup camera? Well, there it is. That's what happened, Dave. We're on backup camera. I didn't even know that. Okay. Good observation, Dave. I like it. Thank you, Beachy Mama. Yeah, we're happy to be back. Okay. Lisa Vega has a question. What is something you were pleasantly surprised by on this cruise, as well as something you were disappointed by? Okay, you guys ready? Okay, Lisa, thank you for that excellent question. Very thoughtful. I was pleasantly surprised by how incredibly normal cruising felt. The other folks that are here in the chat that were on this same cruise with us, please speak up and tell me what you thought, but it felt so normal, it was almost eerie at times. I just couldn't believe that. I was completely shocked and taken aback. Something I was a little bit disappointed by is that, and this is gonna sound like first world problems, but I really want to just be honest about this. Our linens were a little dingy. Like, you know how you think about a ship that's been sitting vacant for like a long time, right? A year and a half. And our linens were like, they looked really old and very well worn. And there were stains in them at times on our bed. And it was like, this just is weird. Just replace the sheets. I mean, I would think that they would have done that. I thought that was a little bit weird. I know I haven't really talked about that. I don't think I said anything about it in live stream, but it was really weird. And then of course, when we were at our hotels pre and post cruise, then the sheets like on our post cruise hotel looked so bright white because we weren't used to it. So it was a weird thing. I know that's kind of an off thing, but I thought I would share that. Oh man, Marlena, thank you so much. Marlena Bauer said, thank you so much for your content. Cruising truly felt back with your packing video. And you know, Marlena, we actually thought about not doing that video. We were like, oh, nobody's gonna wanna watch packing videos anymore, but it's been really well received and I'm glad we did it. And there's so many things that I learned. We might even do a hits and misses on the packing because there were things that I packed that I didn't need and there were things I packed that I was surprised that I used. So maybe we'll do something like that too. James Milner said, how were the staff? I'm sure they've been through the ringer. They were so thankful to be back working. They were joyful and they were very happy. And it was really, really crazy. Family Ocean said, I was disappointed we couldn't sit at the bar. Yeah, you're not supposed to sit at the bar, but I saw people doing it all the time, which was weird. But I guess it's just part of the rules. Angelique said, hi, Sherry and crew. So happy to be here. Looking beautiful as always. Oh, thank you very much. And thank you again, Beachy Mama. We're glad to be back doing lives too. Lorraine Young, thank you for this question. Lorraine said, how was Junior with getting his nose swabbed? Okay, Lorraine, great question. Well, you guys are asking really good questions. Thank you. Junior, he didn't get any of the deep nasal PCR tests. All of his were shallow swabs, but he had 5 COVID tests. Five. So he was not happy about it. And we don't know, something bothered him with his very first COVID test. It just didn't feel right. And so every other test after that he dreaded and it was hard for him. But by the end, by the 5th one, he was like, I'm fine. So I'm glad he didn't have to get any of the invasive ones. He was a total trooper. Thank you for asking that question. Bridget's Buzz says, hey Sherry, were you happy with the extra items you packed in preparation? Kind of. There was a couple things I'm really glad that I took with me, like the towel bands I took to hold our towels on, and the cell phone case that I packed, the waterproof cell phone case. I am so glad. Chuck V said, did you bring up the dingy sheets to your stateroom attendants? I didn't. Partially because we had another issue with our stateroom on day 1 that did need to be addressed, and so we brought that one up and we left the sheets thing alone. Did anybody else have that on our cruise? If you were on there, did you also have sheets that were kind of funky? I don't know, I felt bad about it. I didn't want to bring it up because I felt like, well, they can't control that. They probably don't have any new sheets. Like, what are they going to do? And I'm just going to make them feel bad. You know what I mean? It felt like that to me. It was weird. Oh, Joe Mock, you're so right. Joe Mock said, what made me sad was the small audiences at the shows. I felt so bad for the performers who were great. Yeah, it was weird, you guys. So when the performers would do something amazing, like at the ice show or in the theater, we went to all of the shows, by the way. The audience was so small that the clapping felt like this. And so all of us were like clapping extra furiously to like try to make sure that they knew that they were loved, but it was sad. I can totally relate to that. Joyce, I don't know if they had classes in the fitness center because I didn't go to the gym the whole time and I didn't even look and see if there were any classes, but I can tell you they did have Zumba on the open decks at 9 a.m. on C days in the sports court. I can tell you that. Beachy Mama said, how was it meeting Matt? Oh, it was amazing meeting Matt. Our whole family enjoyed meeting Matt. We got to spend some time with him and meet his precious little girls and his beautiful wife, and it was a total highlight of the cruise, as it was meeting everyone who we met. It was a total joy. Sarah's Journey said, I have heard that you're no longer able to have door decorations. Is that true? Not on that cruise. It wasn't Sarah's Journey. There were door decorations everywhere. They were better than ever. I saved some door decoration images to my Instagram highlights. If you go to instagram.com/cruisetipstv and go to the Adventure OTS highlight, the circle under my profile, look at the embroidery someone had on their door and the dogs. Cutest door decorations I've ever seen. Jeffrey Davis said, what ship were you on? Jeffrey, we were on the Adventure of the Seas sailing out of Nassau. Lisa Vega said, how was it communicated to all of you that that there were 2 COVID cases on the ship? Well, Lisa, I found out when we were doing an Instagram live. I didn't even know. So the captain made an announcement about it. I just didn't hear it. He made one announcement over the overhead. What happened is we all had to get COVID tests on Wednesday because we all had to go back into the US, and the Bahamas requires a 5-day test. So everybody was getting COVID tested. So it wasn't really a surprise because out of 1,000 people, you're kind of thinking, well, there might be some cases on board because COVID's not going anywhere. But I heard about it from somebody else on the live stream, told me, and I was like, oh, and then it's kind of rattling, you know, but we all took it in stride because we knew that they had already been taken off the ship. We knew they were okay, they were safe, they were healthy. Only one of them had very mild symptoms, and we knew that they were getting private transfer home. So I think everybody was a little rattled, but relieved that they were all fine. Oh my gosh, Bonnie Otway says, was there a different excursion you wish you'd done in Grand Bahama? Bonnie, great question. No, I haven't heard anybody tell me any good excursions yet. I honestly am lost. I don't know what to do. Matt, on his podcast, said he went to the Grand Lucayan and said it was okay, but I mean, I don't know what to do there. We were lost. What she's talking about, guys, we went live from Grand Bahama on Facebook, and where we went was a mistake, and it was a bummer, but you learn these things, right? And so we made the best of it, and we were honest with everybody about it, but it's also sad because you just know that Grand Bahama's been so badly impacted. Hey, babe. Can you turn the fan on? I'm boiling. Thank you so much. Paige Moore said, did Junior enjoy the kids' room? He didn't because there was no activities in the teens club at this one. He's unfortunately in the teen age group now, which is 12 to 17. He's 12. He would have been better off with the 8 to 12-year-olds, so he didn't go at all. We checked it out the first day, but it didn't work out. John Carey said, is there anything you packed that you wish you hadn't? Yeah. There is. As usual, John, I didn't need my athletic sneakers. So funny. Annette Street, thank you so much for the very generous super chat. That was really thoughtful of you. Thank you so much. Hi, Jill. I appreciate that so much. Cricket Fox, thank you for cheering me on. Isabel said, what points during the cruise did you have to take COVID tests, adults? Okay, for the adults, Isabel, you had to get one before you went on the cruise. For this cruise only, before you got there, you had to take a PCR test 5 days before, and then we had to take one to get back. We had to take one on Wednesday to get back into the country, and that satisfied the Bahamian, so technically 2, but we ended up taking a lot more than that because we had some other concerns. So for us, we took them before the cruise twice because we were afraid our results weren't going to come back in time, so we did it twice. And then we did it Wednesday to satisfy the Bahamian government. And then we had to do it again on Friday night on the ship because we were staying until Sunday. So the Wednesday test wouldn't work to get us back in the US. It worked to satisfy the Bahamian government, which I don't think we actually had to do that one after all. I think that was actually not necessary, but I think we did it just to be safe with the Bahamian government. And then the Friday night test was to get us back into the US within 72 hours. So that's crazy. Barb said, how is the situation with the buffet closed for dinner? Well, it was great because our main dining room service was exceptionally good. And everybody just dealt with it. You either went to the Promenade Cafe, you went to specialty, you did room service, or you did the main dining room. It was great. It was fine. I did miss the buffet though. I was chatting with Matt about this on his podcast. I'll be a guest on his podcast this week. You'll see it on his channel. We were saying that the only downside is after a perfect day at Coco Key, you might have been really hungry and wanted to go grab a snack, and you couldn't do it that way. You had to go somewhere else, which was fine. Dynamo said, did you like the ship being less than capacity? No, we didn't like it. Mr. Cruise Tips TV, do we like it? No, we loved it. It was amazing. If you have a chance, you guys, it's like heaven on earth. for us because we like a little bit more of a quiet ship, so we loved it. Bridget, we didn't get to meet Jordan, but we saw her in the show, and she's adorable. Maurice said, what do you think about Freedom of the Seas having segregated places for unvaccinated and the vaccinated? It doesn't surprise me too much because I think that they wanted everybody to be vaccinated, but since they couldn't do that, they had to do something, and the places that are segregated aren't that hardcore. John Carey, thank you so much for the super chat. Auntie Tanya, happy birthday to you this week. Cannot thank you enough, you guys, for your love and support. Mr. Cruise Tips TV, I might have missed a question that was on the bottom that just went away. Let me check and see if I can remember what it was. Oh. Annette, did I thank you for your super chat? I think you did. Okay. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Maurice, with the segregated places, I can tell you that my son, he had to wear a mask the whole week. Thank you, honey. I got it. We're good now. My son had to wear a mask the whole week, and it doesn't feel good being like one of the segregated. He didn't like that. To the point where he was like, maybe I should just get the vaccine, which is kind of sad to me because he's barely on the age cusp. And as a family, we've decided we don't really want him to have it right now. So it was sad for me to hear him say that. So I can really, we're going to mellow out, and we don't know when we're going to cruise again right now until all of this dies down a little because it's a lot right now. Brenda, thank you so much for the super chat. Brenda said, did you do any specialty dining? No, we didn't this time because we were so happy with our main dining room guys and the food, and we spent a lot of money on my drink package. Amy Williams said, thank you. Oh, by Amy, thank you for the super chat. She said, I wonder if you'll have to be vaccinated for any carnival sailings in January. It's so hard to say, Amy, but I kind of don't think you will. I really think things are going to loosen up. But you guys know I'm overly optimistic about things, so you have to understand that that's my perspective. Bill Byungo, buying Mr. Cruise Tips TV 3 12-packs of Diet Coke with that super chat. Thank you so much, Bill. Oh my gosh, you guys are on fire with the super chats tonight. We are feeling the love. Thank you so much for helping us save for our next cruise, guys. Thank you so much. Dupton, I don't know if Royal Caribbean is reimbursing the cost of the visas. I didn't see that credit on my stateroom bill. And Brenda and I were talking about that. We're like, are they really reimbursing? I don't remember seeing it. Susan said, silly question, were you able to fill your refillable water bottles by the crew at the buffet? Don't want to have to buy the case of plastic water. I think what you'd have to do is get cups of water from the crew and then pour them in, but I think you could do it that way. I don't think you have to buy the water, Susan. So yeah. Vernon said, how was the feeling the first time you walked down onto your balcony? Amazing, because we were so impressed with it. My husband was like, what? This is our balcony? This is for real? This is amazing. He was so pleasantly surprised by the balcony, so it felt really good, Vernon. Thank you. Let's see. Bonya Altman said, how so many, oh, okay. Oh, Bonya said, how did so many of you guys arrange to be on the same ship? I feel jealous and left out. We didn't really arrange it. It just happened. But Bonya, if you think about it, when there's only a few cruises going out of North America, it's bound to happen that some of us are going to end up on it at the same time. We were talking about that as a family. We're like, well, yeah, I mean, that's going to happen because there's not a lot of cruises to choose from, so you're going to have more of that. So get out. If you want to meet other people, get out there soon and do it. Bear Bull Cruising said, hi, Sherry. How was it using the Royal Caribbean app at the restaurant's dining room, or do you prefer paper menus? I prefer the paper menus, but guess what? All you have to do is ask, and they'll give you one. We learned that 4 days in to the cruise. I didn't like using the app to look at the menu because we only take one mobile phone really to dinner. Right? So we were passing my phone around and it took forever to pick what we wanted. So you could look at the menu outside the dining room too on this big, beautiful display thing. So that was kind of cool. Yeah. Let's see. Queet Beat. Did you use Air to Sea? How was it? We did. I loved it. We absolutely used it. I will always use it. I will also always use Princess Cruises Air. It's cheaper for me every time. Every single time I've done it. This is now my third experience using either Air to Sea or Princess's Air, and it's phenomenal. Jim Ring said, hey, Sherry, how does the buffet work in current COVID days? Exactly the same, except for they serve you the food. Everything looks exactly the same. You pick up your own plate, you pick up your own silverware, then you walk along the areas and someone simply puts what you want on the plate. They were very well staffed. They still have an omelet station. They give you a pager, and when your omelet's ready, You go get it. There's a bar in there. It felt exactly the same. Sarah Michelig said, question, were the specialty restaurants open at lunch? Yes, they were. Mariah said, is cash tipping still acceptable? Are there precautions about that? Yes, Mariah, not only is cash tipping on Adventure of the Seas, now on this ship only, acceptable, but they put an envelope in your room 2 nights before. And you can cash tip all you want. It's perfectly acceptable. Paul Billis said, how did the weather cooperate? Did it get too hot? It was very hot and very humid, but we got lucky because we had mostly sunshine, and the week before us they had a lot of rain, so it was glorious, but very hot and humid. Mr. and Mrs. Vlog said, would you say the total amount cruising during this time increased considerably due to multiple COVID tests? Nope. All of our COVID tests were completely free. We didn't pay for any of them because my healthcare coverage... No, actually, I didn't even use my healthcare coverage. In California, you can COVID test for free anytime. So we got free COVID tests before we went. The cruise line paid for both of them for us and for our child. Everything. I didn't pay for a single COVID test, but that's going to change, guys. That was just this cruise. Jen Megsy said, how did the food compare to the Harmony of the Seas cruise? The food in the dining room on this cruise was better. The main dining room, better than Harmony of the Seas. I didn't do specialty, so I can't compare. The pizza on Adventure was better than Harmony of the Seas, and the buffet was better than Harmony of the Seas. It was great. The food was phenomenal. Great. No complaints at all. Absolutely. I don't know how they got it all back together that fast. It was crazy good. Alan Elmore said, I enjoy your vids. Thank you, Alan. Cheryl Hellman said, can you buy a blue chair as your new seating for your chats? Cheryl, hi. First of all, Cheryl, hi, how are you? I know I want that chair. If you guys don't know what Cheryl's talking about, that means you do not follow me on Instagram or Facebook, because we had, somehow they put a suite chair in our balcony. You're supposed to only get those chairs in suites. And I spotted it and I was like, babe, Instagram husband, we need to take this thing on the balcony and take photos. And we rocked that chair all week. It was like, okay, formal night, go out there again. Different formal night, go out there again. And we had so much fun taking pictures with the blue chair. I can't even explain how cool it was, but it was like a Joe pizza drive-by, right? Oh, the pizza was good. But it was so fun. Lisa, I didn't go to the spa. Isabel said, did you have to pay out of pocket for any of your COVID tests? We didn't, Isabel, but again, the state we live in California, we've got free ones. If it wasn't free, my healthcare coverage would do it, and I didn't have to do rapid ones. We were able to go to a laboratory that gives them to you in about 48 hours, and that worked. Maurice Lawham said, did you cry walking onto the ship? No, in fact, I didn't cry the whole cruise. I only cried in the live stream before the cruise when I was at Atalantis and I announced the cruise to you guys. It hit me like a ton of bricks. And then it hit me again on the airplane on the way home. I was listening to headphones and a song came on that kind of triggered it, I think, a little bit. It wasn't even the cruise, but we were elated with joy the whole time. There were no tears. I don't even know how that happened, but it just did. Colin B., thank you so much to you and Anne for the generous super chat. Colin said, Sherry, Anne and I love your videos, been following for ages. Cheers. Cheers to you, Colin and Anne. Thank you so much for your support and for being here tonight. Really, really appreciate that. And thank you for sticking with us for years. Rich F said, did you get a good deal on your drink package since less people are sailing? Not really, Rich. I paid $58 a day before gratuities. It ended up being over, gosh, it was definitely over, I feel like it was like our 2 packages, because my husband gets the non-alcoholic one, which, by the way, if you don't know this, if you have a non-drinker, you can call Royal Caribbean and one person can get the alcohol package and the other person can get the Royal Refreshment. And that's what we do every time. I think the 2 of them combined were a little bit over $600. It was worth it for me because I don't like to have to think about it, but I don't think I got my money's worth. But I think it was $58 a day, Rich, before gratuities. Jim Ring says, I have a Hawaii cruise out of SF next March. Will I be able to use the Buffet and Princess? You'll be able to use it, but it might be full serve forever, Jim. I don't know if you're ever going to be touching those tongs yourself again. I'm not sure. Brian Dunn said, in your same cabin this Saturday, any heads ups other than the sheets? No. If you have Michael as your stateroom steward, Brian, he's precious. It's a great cabin. It's incredibly quiet. Do I have any tips? That is so interesting. Mr. Crucives TV, can you think of any tips for him on our cabin? The blue chair. Take photos in the blue chair. Mr. Crucives TV said, no, just rock it. Enjoy it. Get out there and see those sunrise views. it's phenomenal. I can't say anything more about cabin 1388 on Adventure of the Seas. Hellaforce said, when you did the Bahamas Health Visa, did you have to put down the length of the cruise for your visit or just the time you were actually on the island? Whole time on the island. So we had to put 10 days because we went in 2 days early and 1 day late. Susan said, did you stay up later than usual to make up for lost time? Yeah, Susan, we kind of did, but we slept like babies on this cruise. And my husband has difficulty sleeping. So for him to sleep so well this whole week was such a huge blessing for our family. And we were all on the same sleep schedule, which we aren't at home. We're on very different sleep schedules at home. I'm a very early riser and the boys stay up a little late. So we all went to bed at about midnight Eastern time every night. And we all got up around 8 Eastern time. It was glorious. Bridget's Buzz, any idea how U.S. ships will do Nassau as a day port with the testing requirement? Oh, man. That is interesting, Bridget. I haven't thought of that. Let me think that through. I don't know. Jose said, for what it's worth paying for at Coco, what is worth paying for at Coco Key? Jose, it depends on your tastes. If you like water parks, Perfect Day at Coco Key is not to be missed, especially if you go early on in this time when there's no lines. I'm hearing from people who are on the cruise with me that the Coco Beach Club is totally worth it. So let's answer Jose's question about what is worth paying for at Coco Key, guys. Jose, watch the chat. Stacy Finch said, please tell me they still provide a cruise compass, one of my favorite things. Baby, on the bed, it was on the bed every night in paper, every single night. I never even looked at it on the app. Paper. Stacy, it was wonderful. Camilla says, did you watch the ice skating show? We did. It was great. It was really cute. There were some goofy parts in it, but it was really great. I saved video to my Instagram highlight called Adventure. Margie Butcher said, how did this cruise compare to Princess? Margie, this was more like a Princess cruise than a Royal Caribbean cruise could ever be because it felt so low capacity and classy and quiet. But, it's Royal Caribbean, so it's different. It's like a different vibe. But I will say that the crowd was much older on this cruise than a normal Royal Caribbean cruise. So it felt more like the Princess demographic, I guess you could say, if that's the only thing I can really think of. Scott, they did not have teppanyaki on our ship. They only had Izumi, but Izumi doesn't have teppanyaki on this ship. It's small. James Higgins, I'm getting to your question next as soon as Mr. Cruise Ships TV moves it to the top for me. Take a drink here. You guys, these questions are amazing. Yes, Seth, Jungle Juice time. Thank you, my friend. Open the Hot Tub Club bar. Oh, Mariah, I didn't see those dance floors, my friend, but good question. Okay, James Higgins says, hey, Sherry, do they have photographers out and about? They had photographers set up for posed things, and they definitely had them out and about at Perfect Day. They had them out and about on Embarkation. Yes, they were normal, James. They had them. Steve said, hi, Sherry. How much continuity do you think there will be among the Royal Caribbean group brands, Royal Caribbean Celebrity when it comes to COVID protocols? I think, Steve, it's going to change constantly, and I don't think there's going to be any continuity. They're trying to have continuity, but then things happen and they have to accommodate. Like, for example, on our cruise, we're cruising with an unvaccinated child and we could do our own shore excursions. And then the week after us, the sailing now, if you have an unvaccinated child with you, you're not allowed to go on a non-cruise line sponsored shore excursion. The testing requirements change from week 1 to week 2. So no, I don't think there's continuity. I think they're all just adapting. And sometimes it's a knee-jerk reaction to something that happens. Sometimes it's a knee-jerk reaction to the country you're visiting, like the Bahamas saying, sorry, you know, Celebrity had some COVID tests, so now you guys have to test before you come in because we can only accommodate this many illnesses, right? No, it's changing all the time. It's crazy amount of change. So much change. I'm ready for Mark Webster's question, babe. All right, taking a breath here. Ooh. Mark said, do they let you bring drinks into the pool on this ship? Yep, into the pool, into the pool at Perfect Day, anywhere you want. There was no difference. Alberta Roy said, what's the best ship you've been on? Oh man, I've been on some incredible ships. I have to say it's a 4-way tie between Royal Princess, Norwegian Bliss, MSC Seaside is a spectacular ship. Carnival Panorama is incredible, and Harmony of the Seas. I know that's 5, but you guys know that we are not totally brand loyal. We've cruised the most with Princess, but all 5 of those ships took my breath away. Mariah, I wish I knew about the dance floors. I'm sorry. Chris said, Jen Megsy said, do you guys have the Wi-Fi package and was it worth it? We had it, but the Voom internet was terrible on our cruise. Absolutely terrible. And everybody was acknowledging, because it's not really Voom. It's like downgraded Voom, and it was awful. Was it worth it? Yeah, you still needed to have it. I still wanted it, but every time I could connect on shore, I just used my own cell phone package with an international plan, and it was 10 times better. Alan Elmore said, so the shows were good, being the first cruise. It was the second cruise. They were phenomenal. The ice show was great for such a small space, and the stage show was phenomenal. Great. Go look at my Instagram stories. There's video. And of course, we're going to show the video on our vlogs too. It was great, Alan. Janina Hartman asked the question of the day, how was muster handled? It was so awesome, Janina. The way muster is handled is as soon as you get on the ship, anytime you want, in the first few hours, you pull up the Royal Caribbean app. Inside the app, you do a very brief, less than 2-minute video on how to put on a life jacket. As soon as you're done with that, you acknowledge me, and all of my cabin mates have watched it. Boom, 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 checkbox. I acknowledge. Then you report to your muster station, where you get a private, quick orientation with several staff members on what to do in the event of an emergency. It is phenomenal. The bars don't close. The ship doesn't go to a standstill. We loved it. It was great, and it was quick. Natalie said, I'll be cruising on Freedom of the Seas in September for a weekend cruise. If you're fully vaccinated, do you need to do tests before boarding? I don't know yet, Natalie. There's no way of us knowing how things are going to be in September. Everything is changing by the week, Natalie. I'm sorry, but I don't know. All right, I'm ready for James P's question, babe. Wow, you guys, we have such a great crew in the house. Hey, would everybody do me a favor? Everyone that's here, there's 457 people watching right now. Would you all please just take a moment to give us a quick thumbs up? I would be so thankful. Please, pretty please, sugar on top. Oh man, James P said, was spending 2 days over at Coco Key too much time over there? No way, it was amazing, James. But what we loved is that our itinerary got changed, so we got the first day and basically the last day of our cruise were perfect day. It was so great. Loved it. You can never have too much time at perfect day. Landry Neal said, do you have to request paper cruise compasses or is it on the app? They put them on our bed every night. On our ship, you didn't have to request them. They were just there for you. Oh my gosh, have so much fun on adventure, Landry Neal. You're going to love it. Jean Megsy said, if you were cruising this week, what would you have done differently? Can you move that one up for me, babe, for Jean Megsy? Thank you for the thumbs ups. You guys just went up by 100 instantly, just like that, up 100. Great job. Thank you. Keep it going. Keep the thumbs ups going. Appreciate you. Okay, Jen Megsy said, if you were cruising this week, what would you have done differently? Would you have stayed on the ship or taken shore excursions? In Grand Bahama, I'd stay on the ship. I would pay and do the water park again both days at Perfect Day because we are just so in love with that water park. At Cozumel, I would go to Nachi Cacombe, where John and Brenda went, and they loved it. Hi, Chi, thank you so much. Yes, Susan, I got the chicken sandwich at Coco Key, and it was worth every single calorie. Believe me, I burned it off too. Bill Byungo, we got lots of visits from towel animals. We got a towel animal every night and the cutest little mouse you've ever seen. Vicky said, do you anticipate the crew being able to work without masks going forward? I hope so, Vicky, because it was so dang hot and seeing them outside with masks was heartbreaking. Hated it. Marlena Bauer said, did they let the kids remove their mask for the posed portraits? Yes, they absolutely did, Marlena. Seth said, how was the Flowrider, Sherry? It was good. And I wiped out. Good for you. Mr. Cruise Tips TV and Junior spent hours on it. I did it once, biffed, hurt my neck, hurt my back, hurt every bone in my butt. And I was like, no more Flowrider for me, but I'm going to watch the boys. They had the best day on that Flowrider ever. And they could go 5-10 minute wait, and they were back on it, back on it, back on it. Heaven. Loved it. Deborah Duff said, was the internet package reasonable? Yeah, it wasn't too bad, Deborah. Just the quality stunk on this cruise. The ship just isn't upgraded for it. Kathy McGregor said, how were the pools? They were nice. They were uncrowded. They were monitored by lifeguards. They were very clean and very nice on this ship. The Grow Geek said, how was your dining experience? Fantastic. Our main dining room experience was excellent. We had great food, great servers. Flying Stone 2000 said, how were the shows? They were phenomenal. I couldn't believe how good they were. The Juggler was hilarious. The theater show was awesome, and the ice show was great. They were all wonderful. Deborah Pratt said, what is the open buffet like? It's just like it was before. The only difference is it's like Holland America, where you know how in Holland America they served you the food before? It's just like that. Everything was the same. It looked the same, except for everything was a little cleaner because there weren't people converging on the food and throwing things about. Like, you know how sometimes you see like a French fry off to the side? None of that. Phenomenal. Loved it. Okay, babe, I'm done with Deborah's question and ready for the next one. Oh, yes, Seth, I like that threat. That's a good threat. Heather, we really had an amazing time. It was hard to come home. It was a wonderful, wonderful cruise. I mean, it was so great. Okay, thank you, Bridget. We'll work on that. Thanks, everybody, for that. We will take care of that. I'm sure Mr. Cruise Tips TV is on it. Dinamo, did you ever make it to the pub? How many times a day did I make it to the pub, Dinamo? It was fantastic. It's called the Duck and Dog. I had a hard time remembering the name, but I'm not going to tell you the name I gave it because it's kind of inappropriate because I couldn't remember it. So we're just going to keep that one on the DL. Kathy, I think I got that one. Let's see. Oh, I'm ready for the one under Deborah Pratt. I know you're dealing with that other situation there. Yeah, he's on it. John, thank you guys so much. Favorite bar, Bridget? Definitely the pub, for sure. Oh my gosh, it's Chuck and Sue. Hi guys, how are you? Thanks for being here. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Amy Williams said Royal Caribbean just came out with a press release. All unvaxxed travelers must have traveler's insurance now. Yes, so you can buy that insurance either through the cruise line or you can buy it through your own private provider, and there's certain amounts of coverage you have to have, but it's doable. Bridget said, what's the craze about the chicken sandwich? Hey, Bridget, have you ever been to Chick-fil-A? Do you know what those chicken sandwiches are like? They're like those. They're super simple. They're a fried chicken sandwich, but they're just delightful. They're fresh made, and they're just really, really good. It's hard to explain what's so good about them. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I know, right, Susan? Didn't the Voom stink last week? It was really bad. Peggy said, did you get your money's worth from the drink package? Dollar for dollar, drink for drink? Probably not. But I tried really hard to maximize it by getting lots of bottled water and coffees as well. So I think I did okay with that, Peggy, but not perfect. Perfect, not perfect. Okay, Matthew Vanderlinden said, how soon do you expect us to hear what cruise expectations will be like for September? In August, but things are gonna start calming down. So, yeah. Melanie Simmons said, did Junior think the COVID testing and mask was worth being able to cruise? It was hard for him, Melanie. It makes me sad to say this, but he really, once we got into it, he's like, I just wish I would have got the vaccine. And he's 12 and he's 60 pounds, and we didn't really want him to be vaccinated. And it's a very difficult family decision. We're probably not going to rethink that decision as a family, but it was hard on him because the mask wearing sucks. And they feel different than everybody else. And it's weird. Jim Ring said, did you get any horseradish for your meals? 4 out of the 7 nights, Jim, I did. Yes, and it was glorious. Thank you, my friend. It was so good. Aw, Stacy, the east side of Cozumel, such good memories, huh? I know. David Davenport said, we're going to Carnival's inaugural sailing to Bimini. What do you know about that destination? Nothing, David. I heard about that. I heard that Bimini was opening up. I'm so sorry that I haven't done any research for you yet, but I'm so excited and I hope that it's going to be great. Let me know what you hear. I don't know. Drea said, I'm going on adventure this weekend. Where do you get the chicken sandwich on Coco Key? You can get it at all the little snack shacks. In Thrill Water Park, they have it. They have it everywhere, Drea. Just ask for the chicken sandwich. Also, get the mozzarella sticks. They're phenomenal. Also, the salads are glorious. The grilled vegetable salad, the Caesar salad, and the Greek salad that are available at all the shacks, they come in little to-go containers. Fabulous. We ate them all, and they were wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, man. Virtuosa. UN 101. I don't know. What do I think about MSC Virtuosa and her cruises around the UK? I can tell you I'd be on that cruise right now if I could. And you're so welcome. Dinamo, we didn't try the funnel cakes on Coco Key. They looked phenomenal, but we try to avoid the sugary desserts when we can. My husband and I, our metabolism is not what it used to be, and sugar makes me feel horrible, so I try to avoid the sweets, but it looked so good. Susan said, I heard about the Coco Key chicken sandwich hack. Add a few mozzarella sticks and marinara. Calories don't count while you're on a cruise. I love that. I heard about that too. You can do that. Ask them to put it right on the sandwich, or you can just get it on the side and smash it on yourself. Shaylin Owen said, we're masks required on the islands for vaccinated cruisers. Perfect Day Coco Key, no masks for anyone, vaccinated or non, but at Cozumel, masks were required, and the Bahamas, masks were required. So in the ports, it was on this cruise. Great question. Jen Megsy said, did you have a set dining time, or did you take part in my time? Yeah, we had 8 p.m. set dining, and it was glorious. Debbie Byfolk said, do I need an international phone package with my carrier to cruise? Debbie, it depends on what you want to do. I think more than ever these days, it's probably a good idea to get it because it's cheap. We have AT&T. We added it for $10 a day, and it was what's called a pay-per-use plan, meaning if you didn't go into your cellular plan that day, you didn't get charged. So for me, it's worth it. I didn't used to do it. Now I'm more apt to do it because I feel like I have to check my email to get all these stupid COVID test results, right? Flying Stone said, when do you think they'll sail from California again? Cruises are resuming from California again in August, maybe even sooner. I know that Carnival's resuming with Panorama in August for sure, so it's coming in. The Throw Geek, they didn't do the deep nasal kind, they did the shallow. So if you imagine a Q-tip going up about this far into your nose, not the brain tickler, just the little guys. At least on Adventure of the Seas. I don't know about every other cruise. We had 5 COVID tests for this cruise, both in California and on land, and none of them were painful or uncomfortable at all for us. Oh my gosh, Jim Ring said, Sherry, may I tell you how beautiful you look tonight? Your vacation has treated you well. Thank you, Jim. I have sun on this skin that has been pasty and locked up for 1.5 years, so thank you, my friend. I appreciate that, and you may always tell me if I look beautiful. I will always be honored, and I will never be offended. Thank you. So precious. All right, you guys, we're answering the questions as fast as we can, and this is so encouraging to know that you guys are like here and listening. I know, brain tickler, right, Isabel? So funny. Good plan, Jen Megsy. That's a good one. I know, the stupid COVID test, Paloma. Oh, man. Hot topics, muster drills are all really cool right now. You watch a brief safety video for about 1 minute on your phone. You acknowledge that you watched it. You report briefly to your muster station, and they confirm that you attended a quick muster orientation that takes 2 to 5 minutes, and then you're done. The bars stay open. It's phenomenal. No, Flying Stone, we did not eat at Johnny Rockets, but we walked by it. If it had been open for lunch or breakfast, we would have done it, but it was only open from 6 to 10 p.m. on our ship, unfortunately. So I'm sorry about that. Susan said you have that post-cruise glow. Oh, thank you. Thank you, James. Oh, thank you, Janice. You guys are way too kind. I thought that there was a post-cruise depression look I was donning, but I appreciate that my tan is still holding on because I don't want to lose it. I'm a very pale person. No, Joyce, I didn't go to the piano bar. I wish I would have done that, but I didn't get to do that. There's not enough time to do everything. It's crazy. Yeah, Maurice, I think that the muster drill is going to be this way for a long time. I really do. Lisa Vega said, what were the deals like if you booked your next cruise on this one? What were the deals like? Oh yeah, the next cruise office, the future cruise desk was open as usual. I didn't stop by, Lisa, so I'm not sure. Steven, thank you so much for the super chat. Steven said, do you think cruising will be back to pre-COVID level? It's going to be a lot more normal than you think it is, Steven. A lot more normal. There's going to be some permanent changes, I think. Like, I don't know about self-serve at the buffet for a long time, but I really feel like you're going to be shocked. I don't know, Debbie, I think Aruba is safe in August, Debbie, because they're below the hurricane belt, but if anybody else knows. Dawn's Family Vacations is in the house. Well, hello, Dawn. We've got a VIP here. Dawn says, hi, Sherry. Did they have a full show program or do they do less shows and welcome back? Cruising is back. Hey, Dawn, they had a full complement of shows, something every night. Ice show or a stage show or the magician, the headliner. It was something every night. For the amount of capacity on the ship, it was a full complement. And we went to shows 4 nights in a row, honey, or 3 nights in a row? 3? We saw them all, and they repeated them. So if you missed the ice show on night 1 or whatever, you could go do it another time. So something every night, pretty full complement. Alan, the internet stinked. It stunk. It stank. You maybe just buy one package. Maybe don't buy it for you and your wife. Supola said, did you create a wall mount itinerary for your cruise? Yes, ma'am, I sure did. And I needed it more than ever on this cruise. I did, and I put it on the front of my binder, Susan. I just popped it in. Bridget's Buzz said, did you feel seasick since it's been so long? No, not at all. There was very little motion on this ship, and I didn't even have like the sea legs when I got off, the kind where you go back to your office at work and you're like floating for a week. Nada. Nothing. 0. Bill said, were there any positive changes you think that will stay for good? Yeah, lots. I think there's just more cleaning around the ship, and that's probably going to be here to stay. I don't know how things will be at the buffet forever, but the more contactless experiences are probably going to be pretty darn great. Yeah, Maurice, we totally would go on Celebrity Edge, for sure. The Grow Geek, no, we did not carry our vaccination card when we were going ashore. Vernon said, how cool was it to be able to get a pool chair? Yeah, like really cool. There was pool chairs all the time. Brenda's answering the next cruise question. You could do $100 deposits, it looks like. Yes, Shaylin, on our cruise, you could freelance it or do ship-sponsored excursions. Flynstone, no, the internet was not better than on Grand Princess. It was worse. Daniel said, how was the Royal Caribbean app? It's really great. Their app is one of the best in the industry, Daniel. I really love their app. Stinked, stunked, stanked. Peggy, I'm going to make it all up. I don't even know what the past tense is. Nanette said, where was your room? It looked like it was in the very rear. It was an aft spacious view balcony, 1388 port side aft. It was phenomenal. So great. I know, Seth, you're going to be in trouble for that one. L. Griffin said, the trick to tolerating the brain tickler COVID test is to inhale while your brain is being tickled. You won't feel the burn. I've done it, and my patients also said it works. L. Griffin, thank you for that. I had one of the brain ticklers, and I felt like breathing in was a good idea too. I still had really watery eyes, but it didn't hurt at all. It was more just like a tickle. So yeah. Danielle, and I think they had a celebrate party, but we were at dinner, so we missed it, which is a huge bummer. Janina, yes, the aft balcony was so quiet. Deborah said, when boarding, was there staggered times for passengers? Yes, they started at 11:30 and went all the way up to 5 p.m. Very staggered, and you really needed to stick with your boarding time. It's no longer optional. Maurice Laham said, when will the vlogs come out? In a few weeks, I would say. We're getting there, but we have a lot of footage to sort through, so I don't think it'll be more than a couple more weeks. Maybe sooner. You never know. Charles Turner said, I like how the muster drill is now. Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. James, I don't think you're going to get the sea legs. I really don't think you are. I think you're going to be okay. Isabel said, did you have an OMG moment? I'm on a cruise, and then smile ear to ear. Yes, Isabel. It was like the whole time. I thought I was just going to cry the whole time, but it didn't feel like that. It just felt like joy. And around every corner, there was just this feeling of peace and like almost like relief that it was so similar to the way it used to be. And so what would happen is I would have this realization. I'm like, wait a minute, this feels so normal. I don't feel stifled. I don't feel like I have to stay away from others. And it was just this like constant calm. I've never felt more peaceful and calm on a cruise, ever. Even though we were busy and we were like trying to film this and trying to film that and remembering how to do all that stuff that we've essentially forgot how to do, which we really have forgotten how to do, by the way. It was very joyful and peaceful. Aw, Karen Clay, thank you for the super chat. Oh my gosh. Aloha Sherry, Cruise Tips TV and Hard Travel are both so classy, and we're so happy you're on the same cruise. Did you meet Danny on adventure? Karen, I didn't meet Danny, but everybody kept mentioning Danny, and I don't know what he looks like. So I did not get to meet him, and I I'm bummed about that because that would have been a really cool opportunity. So say hi to Danny for us. And maybe next time, I don't know what he looks like. I'm like, oh no. All right, I lost my chat, so I'm bringing it back up. Bear with me, guys. But also, Karen, thank you for the super chat. James P., I don't know if anybody who had inside rooms upgraded to balcony. That's a great question. Susan said, did you use your global entry to return to the U.S.? Yes, Susan, and we got to use it in the Bahamas because you clear U.S. customs in Bahamas. So once we got into Charlotte, North Carolina, we didn't have to go through customs, and it was glorious. And I have to tell you that the airport in Nassau is beautiful, and we breezed through everything, and we sure did love that global entry. It has paid for itself over and over and over. Phenomenal. Mandy said, how did it feel to run into Matt and his family? So great. So great because I consider Matt a friend already, but I'd never met him. So to be able to meet him in person, for our whole families to be able to meet, was super special. Really, really wonderful. They are all just delightful. The Royal Caribbean blog family, just the best. Yes, Janina said, did you see other cruise ships out there just hanging in the ocean waiting for the green light? We did. It was like, it's going to be okay, guys. You wanted to pat them on the back and say, we're almost there. You can do this. Oh, man. I mean, it was crazy. It was so good. All right. How are we doing on your questions, guys? Are we missing any? Judy said, what is global entry? Judy, global entry is like TSA pre-check on speed. It is when you wish to have expedited entry back into the United States following international travels. You can apply with the, I forgot the authority that does it. You can apply for global entry and you speed through customs, essentially is what it is. It's wonderful. No, Janice, Billy, I saw those rocking chairs at the Charlotte airport up against the windows and they were so cool. Jen A said, what was your favorite part of being on the cruise? It was the time with my family. It was just being able to all sleep really well. Every day, we never had anything in the morning where we had to get up early. So we all just took our time in the morning. I got up earlier than the boys a little tiny bit, but not by much. We were really on the same sleep schedule. Go grab my coffee, and then just having no responsibility was the best. Right, honey? Wouldn't you say that was the best part? It was the best. Quaxon is back. Quaxon said, hi, Sherry and the crew. It looked like you all made wonderful memories aboard Adventure of the Seas for Father's Day. We did, and I can't see the rest of Quaxon's questions, so I'm going to look down here. Yes, thank you so much, Quaxon. And Father's Day, guys, we spent at Perfect Day at Coco Key. Mr. Cruise Ships TV was a water sliding fool for Father's Day. We had a great time. Thank you for that. Thank you, Cricket Fox. I hope I explained global entry. Okay. John B said, Sherry, you going to talk about Verifly? Well, yes, I am, because John B in the chat tipped me off the night before we flew out. He's like, hey, by the way, you can skip the line in the Bahamas airport if you do Verifly. So late at night, I got onto my phone. Thank you, John. And I did Verifly for all of us. It's basically American Airlines and several other airlines have a way for you to upload your clear COVID tests and a test before you get to the airport that you've completed all your paperwork so you can skip the check-in line. John, I owe you one for that because it was wonderful to be able to use a Verifly kiosk instead of going through the check-in line at the airport. And since we fly carry-on only, we don't like to wait in check-in lines. We want to go. But in international flights these days, it's very difficult to check in advance using an app. So you have to have Verifly, which is an additional download app that communicates with your airline, in this case, American Airlines, and it was great. Debbie Nielsen said, hi, I'm new to your site and would like to know, is it best to book through a travel agent or directly through the cruise line? Personally, Debbie, I think using a good travel agent is absolutely priceless. If you need recommendations, email me and I can hook you up with our partner travel agency. There's also some really wonderful travel agents here in the house. You've got Cheryl Hellman here in the house. You've also got Dawn from Dawn's Family Vacations in the house, some great agents. So use a good agent and go for it. Nanette said, how was the plane ride? Did you have to wear your mask the entire flight? Yes, it's hard to wear the mask the whole time. Our flights, all in all, they were good. We had delays coming home, glorious flights going out. We somehow got really great seats on the flights going out, and they were really good. Karen and Gord said, did you have a favorite meal on board? Oh, man. Yeah. On formal night, Junior got eggplant parmesan, and it was melt in your mouth good. I had steak and lobster in front of me, and I wanted to eat his eggplant. Phenomenal. In the main dining room, too, Karen and Gord. Amy Byer said, is your cabin considered a suite? Anything else special about it besides larger balcony? Amy, it is not. It's called a spacious ocean view balcony. It is not a suite. Is there anything else special about it? Yeah, it's really wide, and it has a giant balcony, and it has weird poles. It has a pole right in the middle of it, and a weird pole on the balcony. So that's not special, but it's interesting. Susan said, how was Cafe Promenade? Really good. All of our breakfasts, almost exclusively the boys' breakfasts, were from there. I would go get them muesli and bran muffins, and they would eat that. Sometimes I would get a breakfast sandwich. Sometimes I'd go to the buffet. The pizza was phenomenal. The coffee shop is adjoined to it. Ben & Jerry's is adjoined to it. It was great, Susan. Bonnie said, does Junior bring us a Nintendo Switch or a screen for downtime or a book? He brought all three things. He brought a bird book, a Birds of North America book, bird spotting. He brought his Kindle, and he brought his iPad, but no Nintendo Switch. Grow Geek said, what's the biggest differences you experienced on your cruise from the way we used to cruise? The biggest differences were the testing and the paperwork, which is a real nuisance. Second, the e-muster is also very different. Other things that were different were embarkation on our cruise was different because we did it at a hotel instead of on the ship. Other than that, the mask wearing by the crew, it stinks. I didn't like seeing them in masks. It made me kind of sad. Everything's really contactless. That's kind of a summary. Hey, Hope Faith, good to see you. Our trip was amazing. Joe Mock said, does Mr. Cruises TV wear a Fitbit style watch? If so, how many steps it thrilled? Oh my gosh, Joe, you're reading his mind. Yes, he wears an Apple Watch just like mine. He looped his exercise ring 3 times on the second day. 5 times. He's holding his hand up 5 times. He burned like 1,500 calories the second day at Perfect Day. It was great. We're all in better shape now. Literally, when you go on a Royal Caribbean cruise, or when we go on a Royal Caribbean cruise, it is very active for us, more than any other cruise line, and we always come back. Isabel, I don't know why they make the crew wear masks. They're fully vaccinated. I don't like it. I want them to be out of them. I don't know how many steps though, Joe. I just can tell you it was calories and laps. Rebecca Smith said, are the specialty restaurants worth the extra money? They probably are. Everybody was raving about them. Those of you who were on Adventure of the Seas, please tell Rebecca. Lisa Vegas said, did you use everything you had in your binder? I didn't end up needing my shore excursion tickets, but everything else, pretty much. Some of the hotel printouts, maybe not as much, Lisa. I don't think I needed them, but I always just had them just in case, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Mary Ellen, the more recent Apple Watches are nice, but they're all fantastic. Oh, Mike and Cheryl said, what did you think about the Cove? They're talking about at Atlantis. You guys, the Cove at Atlantis was the most glorious, perfect pre-cruise stay. It is, I know it's a splurge, but if you can save a little money and go stay there before or after your cruise, give it 2 nights. It was an absolute highlight. We were so in the mode. It was beautiful. It was just beautiful. The beaches, their powdery white sand. And I know the food is expensive there. It's very expensive, but it's just glorious. Mr. J, the Illusionist question, as a crew member, when can I be back on Princess? When does Princess get started? Princess is probably starting up. I think they're starting in July in Alaska. Susan said, tell us about the crew's buttons on their shirts. Yes, Susan, because of the fact that the crew has to wear masks and you can't see their faces, they all have a small, round little button on their shirts that have a full picture of their face so you know what they look like behind their mask. It's really sweet. Jennifer Preston said, how does the Apple Watch work on a cruise with your phone in airplane mode? The Bluetooth still syncs it to a certain degree, but we don't use ours with a data package, so it works. It still syncs fine, I think, right? Yeah, no troubles. CD Man said, I might have missed it, just got here, but did the passengers have to wear a mask if they were vaccinated? No, they didn't. On this cruise, they didn't, and it really is looking like if you're vaccinated, you're not going to have to wear masks on cruises, but you may have to wear them in port, and you will have to wear them on embarkation. Oh, Seth, I'm so sorry, Seth. I missed your question. Seth said, what was the best cocktail? Oh, John, what is it called again? The one at the Duck and Dog, the something Long Island iced tea. What was it, John? John and I just emailed about this today. It was it's like a variation on a Long Island iced tea, and it is called, Seth, it is called the Boston Iced Tea Party. It has Tanqueray gin, Superior rum, Absolute vodka, triple sec, sweet and sour, and Coke. I got it with Diet Coke. It is a butt kicker. It is so good. It's sweet, a little sweeter than I like because it had a little sweet and sour in it. So I would caution you if you don't like sweet to avoid it. But if you like Long Island iced teas, it's fantastic. I drank Manhattans and Negronis a lot because I was getting tired of sweet drinks, Seth. But other than that, yeah, John, thank you. The Boston Iced Tea Party, phenomenal, and you get it at the pub. Flying Stone, we had like 30% capacity. That's it. Rebecca Smith said, what's the best thing to do in Cozumel going on the Mardi Gras in April? Personally, Rebecca, we like to go to the beach clubs, Mr. Sancho's, Nachi Cacombe, Paradise Beach, Playa Mia, but we did a Jeep tour and it was great. Super fun. Jilly Willie said, did you forget to take anything or did you take too much? We took a little bit too much in our carry-on only, but I didn't forget anything that I can think of. Amy Byer said, what does your new vacation hat look like? Oh, Amy, I didn't get anything until the last day. I think Mr. Cruise Tips TV, I know him. He just got up and left the cockpit, so I think he just went to grab them for me. I know he did, because I know he washed them, and I know he knows where they are, and we've been married for so long that I can read his mind. Bam. I told you. This one says, perfect day. At Coco Key or K, whatever you want to say. Here it is. I can't put it over my ponytail. I love this hat. It smells like detergent because it just got washed. And then this one has my birth date on it. It says 1973 Bahamas BA. I got this one on perfect day too. So these are my two hats. And I just messed up my hair, but that's A-okay, right? All right. Hope Faith, can you go into more detail on my question? I'm sorry, Hope, I don't know what your question was. Oh, can you have the swab COVID test instead of the vaccine to get on cruises? Not if you're an adult. On this ship you couldn't, but every cruise line is operating differently. Royal Caribbean is offering some cruises on Freedom where you don't have to be vaccinated, but then you have to get tested. MSC will also be resuming with non-vaccinated requirements. Let's see, I'm ready for Deborah Pratt's question, honey. Janice, I love that beach bag too. It was really great. Aw, thank you, Amars. Deborah Pratt, there were 2 formal nights. Yes, just like always. I hope so, Veronica. Veronica Pineda said, will you be able to travel the Carnival Panorama anytime soon? Hope so. I don't want to fly for my next cruise if I don't have to, so I really want to get on Panorama, but I don't know if we're going to be able to with Junior in the vaccination situation. Captain Mother, I'm ready for that question, honey, down at the bottom. Captain Mother says, hi from hot Washington. Can you move the Mr. J one up for me, honey? I'm done with that one. Captain Mother, hi from hot Washington. How are the bath towels? Soft and fluffy. Yeah, they were nice. The bath towels were nice. It's just the sheets in the room were not nice. Hannah Willett said, do you think it's possible in the future to prove through an antibody test you have immunity against COVID so you can cruise? No, I don't think they're going to let you take the antibody test. I think you're either going to cruise with a vaccine or you're going to cruise non-vaccinated, but I don't think they're going to let you do proof of that. Yeah, I don't think so. But I get it. I mean, I wish they would. That is, you can do that to fly back in the U.S. You can use proof of an antibody test to get back in the U.S. But cruising, I don't know if they're going to offer that. Lisa Vega said, were there any special events on the ship for Father's Day? I don't think there were, Lisa. I could have missed it, but I didn't see anything. Bridget said, did you eat the snacks on the plane? Almost all of them on the way over. Because we didn't have meals on the flights, we ate so many snacks on that plane, Bridget. It was crazy. Crazy. Haley's in the house. You guys, if you don't follow Haley with a Flair, hi Haley, on Instagram, you need to go check her out. She was on Adventure of the Seas the week before us, and she has some gorgeous and informative content. Oh, Haley, thank you for the super chat. Oh my gosh. So good to see you, girl. Aw, thank you. I still have a little sun on my skin, Haley. It's gonna fade. I don't want it to fade, Haley. I don't. Aw, thank you, Angelique. Well, hopefully, Angelique, by then, the vaccine thing will be kind of fading out of requirement. Aw, thank you, Cricket Fox. You're so sweet. I appreciate it. All right. Oh, the Grow Geek said, how do the shows work with seating? Oh man, I wish I could show you a picture right now. They blocked off entire rows, so there was never someone sitting right in front of you. So you were told not to sit right next to people. You could sit in groups of 2 or 3, and they need to leave space between you, and then there was never someone in the row in front of you. Probably the best way to describe it. Justin and Jessica said, what is the suite experience like? Any changes? Justin and Jessica, I unfortunately did not do research on that because I was staying in a balcony. Please go check out Matt at royalcaribbeanblog.com. He has that information for you. Pop onto one of his live streams and he can tell you how the suite experience is different for sure. All right. Let's see here. Hannah Willett said, have you ever cruised over Christmas? We haven't, Hannah, but we've cruised over Thanksgiving and it was great. There's lots of special stuff on Christmas cruises, from caroling to a tree to decorations all over to Santa coming. There's just so many. Chuck V said, do you have a video of what you pack in a carry-on for your cruise? Yeah, Chuck V, we sure do. We had a packing video right before this one, and I'll get it for you right now. I can just pop in there and grab it, and I'll put it in the chat for you, my friend. No problem. Unfortunately, Chuck V, it was more focused on my clothing, but we do show some of my husband and son's clothing. So I'm just trying to get the upload to come up, and as soon as I can get it, I'll put it in the chat for you, Chuck V. You got it. It's so fun to pack carry-on only. It's like a challenge. And as anyone who met me on the ship on this cruise will tell you, I rewear my stuff all the time. A lot. You guys saw that I was wearing that yellow cover-up day after day. I probably wore it 3 or 4 times. William, I didn't notice if they had afternoon tea. Did anybody on the ship notice if they had it? What's up, David Taylor? Good to see you. Hi. I don't know about that, William. Thank you so much, John, for reminding everybody to give us a quick thumbs up. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. Liberty Cruiser said, no one can sit in front of you. For the first time, I'll be able to see the show. It was really nice. So uncrowded. It was so uncrowded. It was so nice, Liberty Cruiser. It is the best. Thank you so much, you guys, for all of those amazing thumbs up. We appreciate it. Lisa Vega said, did you feel that the ship elevators were clean with so many people touching the buttons? Yeah, people touch the buttons, but they're constantly sanitizing them, and they have signs everywhere that saying you can't get in the elevator with people from other parties unless it's only 4 of you total, and people really respected that. So that was really nice. Okay, a few more questions, guys, and then I need to log out because my voice is starting to go, and I'm starting to feel my throat get a little sore. Joe said, no afternoon tea. John said, no afternoon tea. John, I'm glad you didn't notice I was re-wearing my clothes because I was re-wearing my clothes. I always do. Thanks, Jim. Jim has set a goal, guys, for us to get to 410 thumbs up. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jilly Willy, for watching our packing videos over and over again. Oh, it's Tammy and Tarek, hun, in the chat. Hi, Tammy and Tarek. We got to meet Tammy and Tarek, guys, at Perfect Day, and it was awesome. So glad you guys are here. Yay, thank you. Ryan Olds, thank you so much for being here. Ryan, welcome. Ryan is one of the many Backstage crew members in the chat. If any of you guys are wondering what the heck I'm talking about, our Backstage crew is our Patreon page, and that is where, if you want to support our channel, you can sign up and get some extra perks every month, like a fun Zoom call with me and all of our other Backstage crew members, as well as a video recording of our podcast. So I just put that into the chat. Deborah Pratt, they did have some distancing in the casino, but I didn't see it in great detail. Jeannie, thank you, and thank you for the super chat early on. I really, really appreciate that. Jonathan Gorman, thank you for the super chat. Jonathan said, any Mardi Gras sailings in the future? Nothing planned. It could happen. It's not on the top of my priority list right now, Jonathan, but I would hope so. Thank you, Janice. I love that cover up. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the thumbs ups. You guys are amazing. You know what, Hope Faith, we're going to keep you posted on those Carnival COVID swab tests, but it's changing all the time right now. So we'll just keep you posted, okay? Bridget's Buzz said, random question, did you bring the Jenny or the Mini Jen as your carry-on? Great question, Bridget. I ended up taking the Jenny, not the Mini Jen. I needed more space. Such a good question. Love that bag, by the way. Best carry-on bag on a flight ever. Jonathan, you're going to love that ship. Princess in the Med, does it get any better than that? Michelle, happy birthday tomorrow. OMG, that is so cool. Alfred Collins said, can you suggest what to bring on a 4-day cruise? Oh my gosh, of course we can. You probably just want to take a little bit less of everything, but I'm going to give you a link to some packing videos here. Here's a playlist for you to kind of look through, and you can kind of decide what you want to use from there. Let's see if I can find. We have so many packing videos. I specifically don't have a 4-day one. Oh my gosh, my friend Kimberly's here. Hi, Kimberly and family. Aw, thank you so much. Kimberly said, videos and pics were excellent. Almost felt like we were there. Thank you. Paul, I didn't try any of the craft beer. I didn't. You're welcome, Mike and Cheryl. Thank you guys for being here. I know it's getting late. I know it's late for a lot of you too, so we're gonna sign off. Thank you, Dave, for that comment. I love the Zoom calls too. It's a total highlight. All of you who have been here tonight, who have said hello and shared in this recap with us, thank you. I do want to tell you guys that I know tonight we focused on answering questions about our cruise. Tomorrow morning, are we gonna have the podcast up tomorrow, babe? Yeah. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, our Adventure of the Seas full review podcast goes live. You can find us at Cruise Tips TV Unplugged, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And that review goes into more detail about the sequential nature of the cruise, where we stayed before and after, what ports we visited, what was embarkation like, what was debarkation like, what was our cabin like. You can listen to a full review. I know this was Q&A and a lot of that information came out, but that one's going to give you a really good feeling for what it was like and what you can expect. But please know, guys, the most important thing to know is that everything's changing and it's going to keep changing. And I can't give you all the answers, but I would way rather be saying that to you right now than the other question that we have been getting for the last 17 months. I would way rather answer your questions about COVID tests than the one that went something like this. Do you think that my cruise is still going to go? When do you think cruises will resume? I couldn't answer those questions, but I sure as heck am glad that we're here right now and that cruising has resumed and that we all have the opportunity to cruise again. I know that our friends in Canada are starting to get more of a green light up there as well, and we're so happy for them. And I just want to thank all of you guys so much for everything, for continuing to encourage us over the last year and a half. When times got really tough and we couldn't cruise, I don't want to cry right now, but it's hard not to. But thank you guys for everything. Pam, yes, we always purchase travel insurance for our cruises, but no, we don't purchase it for the whole year. We use our home medical insurance for that. Thank you all so much for being here. The crowd that we had tonight tells me we need to do this more often. I appreciate you all so much. Until next time, we will indeed see you on the high seas. Good night.
Cruise around the week.